Indeed. And greetings unto you. Yeah, you beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again in this moment, for finding yourself doing what just a few years ago would have been impossible, right? You have somehow, through the means of willpower, technology, resource allocation, hopes and dreams, upbringing, etc., found yourself here, right? The odds are nigh impossible, and yet here you are, right? Today's whole stream topic is going to be about making things harder than they need to be, specifically believing that things are impossible, right? Like, for instance, to create a tangible example, we might want to go on a weight loss journey, right? And then instead of doing that, look at how cute Peppy is. Instead of doing that, we tell ourselves it's impossible, right? Oh, it's impossible for me to lose weight. Making something hard, like losing weight, even harder by telling yourself it's not possible, right? Setting the bar as the impossible in your own head. So I want to kind of address that. I want us to collectively touch on that parts of ourselves, the parts of ourselves that kind of writes ourselves off, makes ourselves less, makes ourselves small, makes ourselves incapable of doing things without even trying, convincing ourselves that they're impossible instead of actually just showing up for it. Hey Oma, hallo assalamualaikum stream. Daarso is 'n trappie daarso wat nie so ver is nie. Ons kan rondloop as ons wil. Ek vra maar net as ons wil, ons hoef nie. Hey, Dr. Mega. It's nice to see you again, friend. How have you been? Hallo, wil jy join? Okay. Ek sal vir hom met die kamera draai as hy maar net wil hallo sê. En hoef hom nie so ver te stap nie. Ja, hy moet gesien word.
Is young friends. I hope it's good. Bye.
Dankie ouma. Grandma's sending some love. I want us to collectively touch parts of ourselves. Maybe we can collectively just put our hands on our own cheeks right now. Ah, yes. I have cheeks. Oh, nice. Die mense sê hallo vir ouma. And let's say Meltgram. Meltgram. Joy Vive, it's nice having you. Shannon Sam, so much love to you. Natalie is here too. You and Pippi need matching scarves. Pippi has a pretty sick scarf, actually. I need myself. I think I have one that's kind of pink like that. I need a properly purple scarf, though. I'm surprised that I don't have one yet, actually. I don't even have a purple scarf. Who am I? Chuck Liver? I don't even know what that means, but I had to say it in a second. Opened up to a blank page. Here we go. We use our momentary consciousness to say we are this and not that, right? Creating a boundary of the impossible between us and the other. Using our momentary consciousness to convince ourselves that I am this and you are that, right? It's impossible for me to be you, we say, because I am me and you are you. So clearly it's impossible, right? Or we're like, maybe it's possible that you are me and I am you, but where are you me and I am you linearly, right? Thinking about reincarnation as something that happens with time, like you die and then you respawn in what is your future, or at least what would have been your future, right? Thinking about it in the scale of years. Maybe I die in 2020 and then I get reborn in 2021. But nah. Mm-mm. No. In fact, everything exists at the exact same time. So whether or not you were born a year later or 10,000 years in the past, it's still going to be the same exact now that you're a part of, right? And that is a little bit much to even think about. So maybe we'll put it down just for a moment. I'll start rolling myself a joint. So that's gonna be a Sunday smoky day. Thank you, friends, for all of the love. Fun fact: Melton Shane reminded me today that I am exactly who I wanted to be when I grow up. A good person. Yo, how about that? How about that? I like that, Natalie. Today's yoga was about who do I want to be or who am I, right? Specifically, there's a bird hunting for worms in the tree. I'm hearing it. Like I've been thinking a lot about the brainwashing we kind of undergo as children, where adults ask us, what do we want to be, right? Specifically when it comes to being an employee, right? What job do you want to do? And how that kind of messes with us and our thought process of what it is we're supposed to be doing. And I feel the question I would like to ask kids, instead of what do you want to do, I would like to ask them, who are you? Who are you? Really? Who are you really? And Natalie, from that question, came to the conclusion that she is a good person. Right? How about that? If you can ask yourself, who are you? Answering like that, I feel is beautiful. You know, I'm going to write that as our intention, Natalie. Good person. I usually don't write that. I just wrote on the outside of my little book. I'm, I'm sorry, little book of things we're saying. More personality, I guess. I am a good person. I added some thieves oil to this today, Shan. Yesterday, with you telling me that the mosquitoes, like the thieves oil helps with the mosquitoes, it kind of like brought it to my mind. I've already thought it was a gift. I was going to gift you a scarf. It would be a purple one, Melt. Of course you did. Team Purple scarf. So much love. I wonder if I'm a good person. I'm pretty selfish a lot of the time. I don't think that those two are mutually inexclusive necessarily, right? You don't necessarily have to be selfless in order to be a good person. At least I don't think so, right? And this has been something that I've been thinking about a lot actually, Joy V, because I also consider myself a selfish person, right? And the way that I consider myself selfish is with the things that I choose to do, right? The way I choose to spend my time. I spend a lot of time exercising and preparing my own meals and meditating and journaling and self reflecting. So there's a lot of inner reflection happening, a lot of inner work where I'm like, ah, yes, me and myself and I, and me and myself and I, me and myself and I. And even though that's completely true, I don't consider myself evil for doing that because I feel I wouldn't have the capacity to love in the way that I do if we weren't that way, right? If we weren't loving enough of ourselves to be a little bit selfish sometimes. So I feel it maybe it's just a balance, right? That infinity symbol. That being selfish could be the staring only into one side of yourself. And then after you have potentially been selfish, meditated completely alone, journaled completely alone, exercised completely alone, cooked yourself a meal, etc., 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 to take that energy that you allowed yourself, right? Think of it as like an energy exchange that you have now selfishly given yourself energy. So you have now an excess of energy. And then instead of keeping that energy selfishly, go out into the world and share it. And you do, Joy V, you do share it, friend. So for what it's worth, I don't consider you that selfish, at least. Mao Lao is here too. Hoopty, love you. I'm gonna write some intentions in the form of runes. I'm gonna go straight Degas. I feel Degas is definitely already on my mind during this stream today. Then we'll do Fehu. We'll summon some abundance. And then we'll do Piorth or Piethro. Piorth, I think. It's like a magic symbol. This space is pretty magical. And then finally, we'll do humanity, manas. We'll do some manas. There we go. And goddamn symbols coding my subconscious mind with messages, with secrets that it actually, at least that my conscious mind don't understand just yet. We'll find out what the secrets are while we're going through this. More people need simple and self-contained life goals. This is true, Natalie. I completely agree, actually. I bought you a purple scarf, and when it arrived, I hated it and got you a blue one instead. Joy V, I love, like capital LOVE, love the scarf you sent me. It is one of my favorites. It like hurts my heart deeply that I've already kind of like started dancing those little tussles. You call them tussles? Little dangly bits? That sounds so much worse. Tussles. I've already started decimating the tussles with my dancing of the scarf. But I love your scarf. Thank you, Joy Vive. So what I'm saying is you were divinely in tune, if anything. Natalie, your favorite quote on self improvement. My favorite quote on self improvement comes from Billy Bob Thornton. You can't help yourself because yourself sucks. Sometimes we need outside help too. Sometimes we need outside help too. Thank you, friends, for being the outside help for me. Thank you for allowing me to be that for you. I know this is a back and forth. And I was thinking about specifically the lurker friends again today. I was meditating and thinking about all of the friends who never choose to say anything and just how much I love you, friends, too. The depth of your experience in this moment, it's not lost on me. I love all the self reflecting happening. I love you, Natalie. This is what it's about, right? Melting the parts of ourselves that hide under the shadows. Sometimes you need to take care of yourself first in order to take care of the world around you. Absolutely. You are beyond labels and definitions of good and bad. Josh Mose, you're too, saying good morning to all of you lovely creatures, to the lovers and the healers, to the players and the dealers, to all of my fellow space travelers. Hello, hello, hello. And hello to you too, Brother Joe. What a pleasure having you here with us today. I've been noticing that I don't know if I'm calmer. Am I calmer? Do you mind me being this calm? Right? A part of me feels like it should perform. It should be, extra. Oh, that's so good. I really blessed that coffee today as well. Bless you more. Love you triple. Mm. Yeah, that's some nice coffee. Do I need to be anything other than what I am? Right? Coming back to this question of the impossible, right? Making things harder for myself by considering it impossible. I don't think it's impossible for me to be over the top or to be excited, but I do believe it's something that we get to, right? Like I feel if we were pretending, if we were trying to bring it, it might not be as authentic as finding it in this space. I hope what I'm trying to say translates. You friends help me find it for what it's worth. Your friends' minds, right? And I do believe this, and this is a little bit more on the esoteric side of things, but I believe when we tune into this space together, we basically open a portal to collective consciousness. And then through that portal of collective consciousness, information flows. And depending on what is flowing through your immediate experience, what is happening in your fractal, could potentially intersect, right, bleed into the conscious experience that I'm having. So maybe I'll write an intention of that in mind. Permeable veil. I think veil. Veil is a good one. Yeah. The veil thins. The veil thins. Huh. Okay, there we go. Sometimes you need to take care of yourself first in order to take care of the world around you. I don't even know if sometimes the right way to say Maula, Mr. Poopty. I feel always. No, that was Natalie, right? If you don't take care of yourself, Like, just imagine, right? You're hungry, dehydrated, unshowered, unclothed, uh, completely sleep deprived, and you're like, "Yeah, let me help you." Someone's gonna be like, "No, no, thank you. No, thank you. I don't need help right now." Literally drowning. I don't need help because you haven't gone through the process of taking care of yourself. And so thank you for not considering believing the act of taking care of yourself to be an impossible one. For showing up, dear friends. For showing up. Tassels. Assholes. Sometimes we need outside help. This is true. Melty, you have a gentle air about you today. I'm happy to hear that. I'm feeling pretty gentle, Brother Bear. I'm feeling pretty gentle. I had a good time writing down manifestations today. I had a good time thinking about the future. I feel hopeful. I feel like there are things happening that are beyond me. I'm getting help. I'm getting help from others. And it really is giving my heart a sense of calm, a sense of peace. You friends are helping me right now, whether you know it or not. Just your presence in this moment is creating something larger than ourselves, right? I've been thinking about the whole Trinity thing as well. Trinity, duality, right? That there is unity, the infinity, right? A oneness. And then within the infinity, there is two sides, duality. And then when those two sides come together as a unity within duality, a new experience arises that is the Trinity, right? There is you, the observer, the one that sees. Then there is the thing that is seen. And then there is the third that is born out of the seen and the seer, the experience, right? And I don't feel this takes away from the things that we believe, but it's like a Chinese koan that I've been holding on my heart for a while. I even wanted a tattoo of it. When I was in China, one of my teacher's assistants taught me this message, this understanding. And it basically goes, one becomes two, two becomes three becomes everything. Three becomes everything. And I understand, why we as a species hold on to these religious beliefs. The triangle is one of the most powerful objects in our universe, right? The Dega symbol is basically two triangles attached to each other. And you'll see Dega symbols your entire life. So many of them. You just have to look for them. You'll see them everywhere. It's almost like we're building our world using the Dega symbol as a support system. I think of it as like simulacrums. It's almost like spells. It's like the universe has a spell that is and then bars around it that makes it stronger. When you are not ready for the outside help, be graceful. And when you are ready, be grateful. I love that. Yo, I really love that. I love that so much, in fact. I am going to save it. Is this better? Nah. Maybe like a little bit more. Back to where we were probably. No, I think we're a little bit better. Let me open the note. Love is true. Comments worth saying. And then I'll save yours. Natalie saying, when you agree, let me copy the comment, please. What's happening? I am patient. I am calm. I am accepting of challenge. I accept defeat and still choose to show up lovingly. Let's see if I can use my finger. Oh, nice. I can't even use my fingers to copy it. You know what? There's a third option. I can create a little box around the text and then tell that box through machine learning probably to extract. Yes. Yeah. Get wrecked, Google. I think you're gonna keep the comments from me. Again, use. Okay, no. Natalie this time. Natalie. There we go. Sorry for me being distracted a little bit right now. I'll get better at it, I promise. I just went through a whole fractal and I gained new fractals of how I should be doing it right from the get go. When you are not ready for outside help, I'm gonna a little bit edit it. For outside help, be graceful. When you are ready, be grateful. I really like that one. Thank you, Natalie, for sharing that with me. Let me see what I missed. Mm. Do. You've been hanging out with grandma. Does she have good stories? I mean, it depends on what you consider good stories. To my fractal, unfortunately, not so much necessarily. Right? And I do like asking her things, and she does like talking, and I listen. But my dad has literally come up to me and told me he does not know how I do it, he says to me. I'm like, what do you mean, Dad? And he's like, I don't know how you sit and listen to grandma when she's telling you the stuff that she tells you. And I'm like, I listen, not because I necessarily value what she's saying. And I know that sounds kind of bad, but I listen because I value her, right? That sometimes people can literally be talking gibberish. Like my grandma will tell me a story about an ATM that wasn't working for like 15 minutes. And I'll just sit there with her and be like, oh, and then what? And then they said, what? Wow, no way. How dare they, right? And you can say I'm pretending to care, but I feel pretending to care is the highest form of care in certain ways as well, right? Because you care so much that you want this person to know that you care. You want this person to feel cared for. So even though I don't necessarily feel the stories are the best, I do still like listening to grandma. She's been liking me more these days. She told me yesterday that she doesn't like me when I curse. And when I'm chilling with Christian, we curse a lot more than I do in my day-to-day life. Christian is just the type of person that curses, right? He's like a little bit more of a spicy individual. Oh, I'm so sorry, friends. How are you doing? How are you? Why are you talking like flat earthers? Because the earth is obviously flat, dude. Look at all that flat earth right around you. I'm joking. I never considered myself talking like a flat earther. If you do want to join us, though, we're streaming on YouTube as well. Meltmore, same username. Might be a little bit easier for you to find me on that side. I can actually read your comments. You're a little bit far away with the you now stream. I was reading in one of my books, Christian views are so deeply ingrained that even the smallest amount of self-reflection is accompanied by feelings of guilt. I felt that and I wondered how many friends here would feel that too. That was pretty much my every like day experience. Shannon, that I feel super seen just reading that word. I'll read it again. Shannon was reading in one of her books. Christian views, let's say can be, right? So we know we're not making absolute statements because we don't know anything. But Christian views can be so deeply ingrained that even the smallest amount of self-reflection is accompanied by feelings of guilt. That's how it was for me, right? Because unfortunately, the one of the core things you have to believe about yourself as a Christian is that you are a sinner needing to be saved, right? So if that is the almost like the core, one of the fundamental things you have to believe about yourself, as soon as you self-reflect, it just allows for feelings of guilt, right? I'm not allowed to potentially feel guilty about what I did, change my behavior, and then feel proud of myself because I'm unable to save myself within that, belief system. And it was and continues to be a struggle for me, Shan. It's like I still have to do work, Playfuls. I still have to do work every day in order to not feel that way, in order to not have those feelings of guilt about who I am and what I'm supposed to be doing. You can hold a porcupine without getting stuck with their needles. They're cute little things, just a little spiky. Sometimes I think I'm just a porcupine being held to unfair expectations. I like that, Sam. And like the way that my sister has porcupines, the way I kind of like hold them is they'll ball themselves up initially and then I'll roll them, right? And they really don't like having their center of mass shifted. So then they'll put out their legs so they can balance themselves. And then as soon as they balance themselves, they'll just have their soft side at the bottom of my hand. And I'm like, yeah, get coaxed out of being scared of something, just with a little bit of instability. They figure out they're stable, if you will. Friends, you would feel that too. Wow, Shan, me for one. There we go. Hoopty feeling it as well as a cute little porcupine. I can see that. A well note to not speak up on you. Gotta hold the porcupine on the belly so the little guy doesn't get hurt, or so you don't deal with all of the pricks. Yeah, they can be, pretty defensive to say the least. Gotta hold. I've been diving deep since forever, but indoctrination went in pretty deep. I'm starting to hope, but Poopty. But what though? Joy Viva, I like that. You can break them chains. Yes, you can, dude. It's a process. It really is a process, and it's gonna take us just as much time to unindoctrinate ourselves as it took to become indoctrinated in the first place. Lausanna, so nice to see you, friend. I was pseudo talking about you a little bit earlier, thinking about you pretty much the whole day. Thank you for the videos you send explaining your world. Lausanna makes music, right? And she made a song kind of like using the energy of a dance stream. And I could only listen to like I think 32 seconds of it, but I want to hear more. Thank you, friend. I love you and I appreciate the energy you participate with. I heard the same three stories from my parental grandma. I cherish those stories even with her gone. That's beautiful. I love that. I like Maula too. I've never heard that name before. Is it your chosen name, Hoopy? Let me ask it this way. Do you want me to call you Maulao or Hoopy? Right? In the same way, I like being called Melt because it is who I'm trying to be. Are you trying to be Maulao? Let me ask it that way, maybe. I like the name Maulao as well, by the way. Often we unlearn the crap we have been conditioned to believe. We must unlearn the crap. Yeah. I feel like that's our responsibility, even. I sent it to Discord DMs, Melt, so you have the quote. Thank you, Natalie. I heard the same three stories. Did I get lost and fall into Flat Earth Meetup? Yeah, suddenly you're in Flat Earth Meetup. Hey Char! It's nice seeing you again, friend. We're, as you know, streaming on the YouTube side. I have a joint rolled with the intention of being a good person, Natalie inspired. I have Degas, Fehu, Bjorth, and Manas as Daedric, or no, not Daedric, Nordic Germanian runes, right? Apparently that's what you're supposed to call them. Lolo is here too. Thank you for joining me, friend. Okay, I guess there's no time like the present. Just enjoy your chip bag of mushrooms and catch up with us when you can. Oh goodness, we are still on the swirly rock for now. I like the fact that we live on a round Earth, right? It's one of the most beautiful parts of this little thing to me. It's like it's a circle, right? A unity. It's so beautifully, clear where we are right now. Does your sister have hedgehogs or porcupines? Hedgehogs. Hedgehogs. I don't even know if they're okay. I don't know if she's been taking care of them that well. And I have been pretty absent taking care of them for her, so I really don't know. African porcupine seems scary. Yeah. There they are. They'll put those things in you because they actually like reverse themselves, kind of like put their spikes up and then reverse themselves into you. They'll like thrust their needles into your body. Good morning, everyone. I just woke up, can hardly focus my eyes yet. Keep your eyes closed, Lozana. Breathe. Find 3 things in your consciousness that you are grateful for. I am grateful for another day. I'm grateful for this body. I am grateful for friends and family. I feel even though our eyes might not focus that well in the morning, at least we can focus our insight on that parts of ourselves. I took some more mushies last night. It was a much better experience. I took way less than the night before. Absolute gangster. I've never taken psychedelics back to back, day after day, only because I know they build tolerance and it's not gonna work as well as it did the previous time. But maybe that is exactly what you wanted, right? So I'm happy you had a better time. Thank you for letting us know as well, Joy V. Sounds like every amount is less. You took the other night. Louisiana, there are some shrubs and small trees in the background. You were good to just focus on the words. There we go. I agree. Okay. I'm present. We have reached the bottom of the comments, at least for now. Love is true. Love for me. Love for you. Love for the earth. Love for us on the earth. Love for all living beings. Yeah. All the comments have been read, Natalie, at least partially. I'm grateful for my Baba, who is warm and soft and currently cuddling in bed with me. That does sound nice. Tuning in to that little fractal. I am a soft creature. I call myself Kero. I have claws in my hands that are retractable. I have fluffy little paws and yet soft little toe beans. I see a human being. Her name is Joy Vive. She feeds me. I like her. It's nice to be a cat. It's really nice being a cat. Wow, I have so little to worry about. Man, now I'm kind of jealous. I can't believe I'm jealous of Joy Vive's cat right now. I think I'm just really clicking the impossible, right? Like all of these things I want to do. Some of them might sound impossible. Most of them aren't. But they are going to expect me to do a lot of work. And I'm not by any means complaining about that. I'm just thinking about it in the contrast of cats. They do get to live quite extraordinary lives. So free to do whatever it is they want to, huh? That edible oil my brother made yesterday turned out to be exponentially stronger than I thought it was. I feel like that is probably still affecting me. But it helped. My foot hurt less today and it stopped hurting completely last night. And I was curious with whether or not it was the anti-inflammatory properties or if I was just so high that the pain kind of subsided. And then in that state of mind, I went and exercised. And like so many things came back to me, specifically how years ago, when I first started using marijuana, I I was smoking it, right? Because it helped me sleep. And I would smoke it literally. I would open my, I was living on the second floor of the hostel, and then I would open the window, right? And it didn't have any railings. And then there was like a small little balcony on the outside of the window. And then I would hold on to the window sill like that, blow back into my room, and still, smoke would blow back into it, and people would be able to smell it. And at this point of my life, I was still very much overweight. So I I looked kind of soft, just to say it in so many ways. So I was doing my homework, sitting at a table, had my bag kind of over the chairs, backside, and then these three dudes. I unironically have completely forgot their names. I feel like that's kind of beautiful. I can see their face though, and I forgive them because I feel like they helped me in a weird way, but bear with me. They came up to me and they pulled my chair completely backwards to the point where it fell completely onto the ground. Fortunately, my school bag stopped most of the momentum and I still hit my head. And then they were over top of me, right? Holding onto my kraag, my shirts. What do you call this part of your shirt? We knew it a kraag in Afrikaans. Anyway, holding on to me, telling me, in hierdie koshuis rook ons nie daga nie, which basically translates to, in this hostel, we don't smoke weed. And I was like, well, weed helps me sleep, bruh. Weed helps me not feel like a piece of shit. Weed helps me kind of calm down, at least for a moment, so I can put down the demon rage that burns inside of me. I'm not gonna stop smoking weed. Shirt collar, thank you, HIV. Yes, my shirt collar. So I started working out profusely, aggressively. But because I was still scared at that point, I decided to make myself edible oil, which I would have in these little pucks, like ice trays, right? I would put it in an ice tray, and then I had this little mini fridge that had like that little freezer box, right? So I would take an ice tray dollop of that oil, drop it in some hot water with protein shake, down that protein shake, and then go and work out at the gym. And I got so fit so quickly because I would be single-mindedly focused. I was like, if someone tries to harm me again, I'll snap them in half. I'll fold them like a lawn chair. That's one of the things we say here. So I'll fold them like a lawn chair. And I got so strong. And I'm telling this little story as a preface to last night, having taken my brother's edible oil and exercising again. I felt all of that trauma, that information still stuck in my body. So much rage, so much separation. That's the one. So much separation, so much me versus the world, so much I'll show them. And last night it was just I enjoy doing this, right? It was such a difference, such a calming difference of like instead of being like, and I was at that point I haven't found Cytrons just yet, so it was like aggressive, headbanging metal. Like an insane person, like an actual insane person. Like I can't even imagine how I must have looked like to the outside because I'm not shy, right? So I was banging and I was going for it. I was really into it. so angry. And then last night I would oscillate between doing pull-ups slash like leg raises and slow declines, and then just standing with my arms in my sides, looking at the moon. And then I would feel almost like that cold light empowering me. And then I would almost like charge up, feeling empowered enough, and then I would go and exercise again. And that was like my flow. No music, no distraction, no cell phone. Gives me hope. It gives me hope that this time around, and I have shared this, and it's almost like I have to keep reminding myself of that as well. That this time around, I realize it's not impossible for me to be healthy, right? I just want to say that to be healthy, it's not impossible for me to be healthy, and health very much is a body dysmorphia thing to me as well. Like it's funny how when you get into lower body fat percentages, your chances of body dysmorphia go up, right? Which is counterintuitive. Body dysmorphia is when you look at yourself and you see fault, right? No matter what you look like. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's like you're not looking at the good, you're seeing what needs to be improved, and then no matter how much you improve, you're still doing that. And then it happens so that, we relapse, we eat a little bit more calories because we're hungry, we have access to it, maybe we're out with friends, etc., etc. And then we gain a pound, 2 pounds. And then those 2 pounds relatively look like a big difference, right? Again, the body dysmorphia thing. And then you see even more wrong with yourself. And then you are mean to yourself. Yesterday, we talked about the change you're going to see in your own body. And to love that body, to really love that body, right? You're exercising not because you hate yourself, but because you love yourself. You love yourself so much that you're like, this is good for you. I know it sucks. I know it hurts sometimes, but this is good for you. And I love you enough to do this for you. It's been a trippy shift. I want to tell you that it's not impossible. It's not impossible. Today's dream topic echoing in my head. Yeah. Thank you, friends, for indulging me as I go through that little trip. We did ask for wisdom, right? For enlightenment as Degas, for an abundance of enlightenment as the second symbol, as an abundance of enlightenment that is magical humanity, right? Right? All right. Oh no, my water just spilled. Love you. Let me see if I can find a level surface that my glass will stand on. I only have a little bit of water left. Mm-hmm. Do 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 do. Do. Yesterday was 31 degrees Celsius. That sounds kind of okay. That sounds like average South African weather. The whole part of the book hit me deeply. Being taught to serve others and not the self. He, she is not happy and strong when serving others that sacrifice of themselves, but instead frustrated in the very depth of their soul. He or she is not happy and strong when serving others at sacrifice to themselves, but instead frustrated in the very depth of their soul. Thank you, Mati. I'm still seeing two of you. There is much more of me than just two friends. It looks like two, but it's actually infinity. Stop it! Stop it! Please, mercy! I can't deal with this right now. Your brother made weed oil. How do you do that? You I mean, it is. I should say weed infused oil. Technically, it's not actually weed oil. I'm sorry, right? And I feel you know how to make weed infused oil. You decobar de. I don't know if I should be giving you instructions. Actually, use Google. Use Google. Yesterday was 31 C and stagnant today. The wind is howling. The rain is blowing at 17 Celsius. And I love watching the weather change and alter the environment when it happens so quickly. How things change, right, Joe? Like I feel like yesterday's message is still kind of like echoing in my head a little bit as well. Love the change. And I can hear that in you, dude. The fact that you noticed. Yo, I've never ever heard that. Sam? It warmed up enough to snow? Or you've never ever heard about that radical of a temperature shift? I'm guessing that might be it. Melty, try putting the oil directly on the hurt. It has that property. It does. Definitely. I just really wish I had more information. I wish I could see, right, like values. I wish I had like a readout for the amount of endocannabinoid receptors I have, and then I could see how many of them are being populated at any point in time. You're like, Melt, that sounds like absolute insanity. Yes, welcome to my mind. uh, Can't Cody, thank you for joining me. Yeah, yeah, I would like to know everything. I feel like that's one of the things that might be wrong with me. Why do I want to know everything? What's wrong with me? Why? What's wrong with you, dude? Stop it. Stop it. And I think the joke is that I want it because I can't have it, right? That's the one thing I can't have. I can't have infinity. None of us can because we are it, all right? You can't have what you are. Can you? You are literally infinity, and yet still as a person, as humanity, we really want infinity. Just look at how many of the massive companies that are going to be creating life-changing technology have infinity symbols in their titles or in their logos. It is like a radical shift of personality where we used to fundamentally only pursue the finite. We even create this whole money system where where we would kind of like accumulate, right? Oh, if I have X amount of monies, I can buy X amount of apples. Now I have 10 apples, a finite resource that I can eat of, right? And I can survive, etc., etc. And now we've kind of taken care of that to worry about having to buy enough apples to survive off that, because if your apples run out, you have a certain level of trust that you can go and buy more of them, right? And that's a radical shift in the way we think about ourselves as humanity, the priorities we have on a day-to-day level. So we've shifted our priorities to go from the finite to the infinite because it's something we can't actually have. So it's like this this game that we orchestrated, right? And I'm so painfully aware that I'm playing the exact same game. Yeah, I'm gonna have to live for infinity. Might as well show up every single day for it, right? I'm gonna live apparently every day, so I might as well do it, right? I might as well live every day, and I'm like I'm gonna do that for infinity. And how long is infinity for me? I guess we'll see, and then we'll see together. It's so absurd. It's so absurd. Oh goodness. And that's where we are right now. That's where we are right now. That's what you are. You crazy powerful being, you. Literally having access to all human knowledge in the palm of your hand and then still choosing choosing to be here now, to be in this moment, to hear these words, to hear I love you, I love you, I love you, you are loved. You are so loved, otherwise you wouldn't be here right now. I love you so much. Whew, okay, my heart is beating. Took me all last evening to make it. It came out less potent. Still testing. Let us know how it goes, Maolang. Good luck with your experiences, friend. I'll show them is sometimes the best motivation. It is sometimes the best motivation, but it isn't lasting motivation. Because eventually you've shown them, right? That's the joke. If your motivation is purely to show them, you're going to. And then what? And then what? Yeah. We don't want the motivation to go away, to continue doing the thing that got us to the point where we can show them. So we're going to have to pivot. It's either going to be a painful pivot of, I've shown them and now I'm having an existential crisis because I don't know where my motivation lies outside of showing them, versus I'll show them how much I'll love myself. And then you do that by loving yourself. And loving yourself is a skill that will pay dividends forever. You will be rewarded for loving yourself for the rest of your life. How about that? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Roll that up into your joint paper and puff it. There's a spider climbing on me. You wanna not do that, little homie? He really likes being inside of my leg hairs. Nah, fam. Like, I don't want to smush you, oh, but you need to let me pick you up so I can move you. There you go. That's what the little dude looks like. He is not on my hand anymore. Goodbye, spider. I've been feeding the spiders. I have this mosquito zapper where if I see mosquitoes in my periphery, I see them, little spots in my environment. I swat them with a machine that electrifies grids. And then instead of letting them fall to the ground, I try to keep scooping the same air or in the same vector so they stay kind of attached to the grid. Am I evil? Anyway, and then I take all of those spiders and then I feed them. I take all of those mosquitoes' bodies and then I feed them to the spiders. And the spider loves it. I mean, maybe he doesn't love it, but he's very enthusiastic to go and get them mosquitoes when I put them in his webs. So that makes me happy at least. I'm like, I'm trying to rationalize killing mosquitoes. And now my mind is going to the extreme, of course, again, where I'm imagining having like droids, like small little, almost like imagine flying. This is so cursed. Flying spider droids, right? That you get in the same like little case as like a pair of microphones, and you open them up, and then you just have like these spider droids that kind of like surround your body as like a shield, or maybe it's just on your shoulder. You can make it so cute. You can give it like a little outfit and everything, and then it just watches. If any mosquito comes close, it like maybe like spider droid like or like jumping spider droid like jumps at the thing, catches it, and then flies it to the closest little spider web or something, and then deposits it into that web, and then it's like, cheers, fam. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's like, I don't know why that happens. My mind has no chill. And a part of me wants to make these things, right? I feel so fascinated by the possibility, and I don't know if you see, I'm watching myself tell myself it's impossible. That's what's happening inside right now. It's like, no, that's impossible. You can't make little flying spider droids that catch spiders or catch mosquitoes out of your environment and feed. You can't. And I'm like, why not? Why? Why not? It's not impossible. It's actually not impossible, friends. How long do you think it's gonna take? Oh my! Like this is doing something to me that is, I don't know if it's uncomfortable. It's invigorating. That's the word. It's creating like a almost like heavy breathing, a little bit of heavy breathing happening. Gateway is here, sending you love, driven by vanity. I driven by vanity as well, right? Show them, right? It had to be a vanity thing because it had to be visual. Very much feeling this. Love you, Shan. I know that we go through these things collectively, right? And sharing my fractal isn't a praising of it, but a reminding that we all go through similar things. We experience this thing we call life. I feel even more eloquently put than experiencing life, experiencing how to live a good life, right? Like it's almost like you're riding this wave, and yes, you get tumbled sometimes. Uh, I'll show them. Sometimes a bit of meditation. Did you just say magical manatee? I don't know if I said that, Joe, but I like the way that sounds. Find out, tell me, see if I care. A quick hello before I head into church. Love you, Gateway. Thank you for spending a moment with us, friend. I didn't know you were a church lady. Yes, I attend Mennonite church. I live in Amish country. She's looking. I shouldn't divulge information. She's looking. Yes, I feel like that's vague enough. Gateway, I don't know. Gateway, have a lovely day. So much love. Have a good service. Not that my belief system is necessarily reflected in it, but it's nice sense of community and meditation. Thanks all. Have a lovely Sunday. You too, dear friend. Take from it what you can. Please do. Church is awesome when you find the right congregation. Church is community, right? That's what it is. It's a bunch of people coming together, and they get to look at the person next to them, and they get to be like, ah, this person believes the same thing that I do. And it gives people a sense of comfort, right? But we don't need to believe that we are sinners and that we need saving, right? And that God loves us, but will damn us forever, literally forever. Like trillions of orders of magnitude longer than the life you're living right now will damn you if you don't make a certain very specific set of decisions in this lifetime, right? That's just, it just feels like very layered and nuanced and like complicated and paradoxical and messing with itselfy for us both to believe in, for me to feel okay, we understand something that the others don't clearly, right? I feel it just, instead of all of that, you can just make it a symbol, like infinity. Oh, look, I am as infinity looking out, and I see into your eyes, an infinity going in, and you're looking out as an infinity into my eyes, and I'm looking out, you know, that's, I believe what I believe. That's what I think we believe, right? That every single one of us is a part of that infinity, this infinity we call our lives. And it allows me a lot more respect for you when I can see you as that, right? Instead of other, oh, you're someone else. You are the exact same thing I am, peering out into this exact experience. And I can make your experience as beautiful as possible because your experience is my experience. Melts my brain every single time I try to articulate it. Yeah, folding fractals. Mm-hmm. He went up your pants to find your nearest wall. Good morning, Duck Dad. Thank you for joining us too, friend. It's nice having you here. Love you guys. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Love you, Joe. Sending you good vibes for the bear. You did too. House stuff, Dad. Did you put in that crotch donut order duck? Get scotch donut order duck. Let's try and say that 5 times fast. Scotch bonnet order duck. Scotch bonnet order duck. Scotch bonnet order duck. Scotch bonnet order duck. I'm just high right now. I'm sorry. I feel so self conscious. Please, I'm melting already. Please have mercy on me. Stop looking. Versions of yourself, looking at yourself, having been versions of yourself. Judging as the past versions of yourself, the present version of yourself, judging as the future version of yourself, your present version of yourself. Realizing that you have all the responsibility in your hands. All right? All of the responsibilities in your hands, at least for your life. And your life is extending into the lives of others. All right? Making that almost your priority when it comes to decision making as well. Is this decision, whatever it may be, lovingly, as the first principle, right? Is love true for this decision I'm making? And then as an extension of that, it should be true for everything, right? Is this decision I'm making true for my love of my earth? True for my love of my fellow person? True for my love of myself? True for my love of my pets? True for the love of my peace of mind? You, my peace of mind. Yeah, that one really feels like I should pay attention to it. Hey, I need to pay attention to the time. It is 17:07. I have 71% battery. I was looking for more sevens on the screen, but yeah, more more synchronicity. Stuff is decent, same. Sick kid, but nothing serious. New logo isn't coming, so I'm pumped on that. Going to be so cute. That sounds amazing with the bear. Please do tag me if you share it. Uh, crotch bonnet peppers. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Samuel and Thomas. Thank you for joining us, friends. Sorry for missing you. I'm streaming on YouTube as well, and I'm reading comments on live stream. Stop looking at me. I know you did. I know, Joy View. I know. That's why I'm like tripping out about it. I'm like, damn it. I'm being so looked at right now, right? From multiple different perspectives with the same divine oneness, the same I consciousness, right? So the higher self is like that's I believe Meltmore is us. I am Melt. You are literally more than me, right? And then together we become Meltmore, this experience we're having right now. And that is like a collective of I consciousness peering into the fractal of what we're trying to do right now. Make beautiful, exercise, move our bodies, meditate, reflect on the parts of ourselves that we're holding on to. Breathing, taking moments, blessing our water, as absurd as that may be, spending time in community, right? It's not groundbreaking. It's very simple, in fact, but it doesn't have to be groundbreaking. It just has to be something, right? Realizing that that is what we're doing, that your dreams are not impossible, no matter what they are, even if it's the most. like I'm ego tripping myself out, and I want to say the most basic shit ever. And I feel like I'm pretty basic sometimes. Like I have a hard time with it. I remember being at Christian's place, and we were smoking a joint, and I go into like one of these existential like thought loops. Hey, Pepe, and I think to myself, oh my, I might be basic. And I look over at Christian and I ask him, Christian, am I basic? And he breaks out in laughter. He loses it. He's like, I never expected that question from you. Oh, and he's like, nah, dude, don't worry about that. Your experience is unique. Your experience is so unique. Thought I heard something. You're gonna have a good time. You just have to live your life. Please, please, fully. Every moment. You are creating it. I think it's a cow that I'm hearing, but it sounds like a drone for a split second. Thinking about what had to happen for your body to express the exact information so that you can have these very specific hands, right? And the fact that you're gonna see this extension of you change. Like I don't see myself as you do ever, right? We spend very little time looking at ourselves in the mirror. Most of our experience is this. And I feel again to like connect to this understanding of the similarity of the day-to-day experience is when you look down, you see hands, right? Or maybe if you don't have hands, arms. Or if you don't have arms, the world. I'm tripping myself up. We're trying to be inclusive. Yes, everybody. If you don't have hands, you could also stop it, please. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Our experiences, our experiences overlap in a way that is literally, in my opinion, beyond this dimension. And I say this to you friends a lot, that I'm no more than a thought away, right? And neither are you to me. Isaac instantly came up to mind, right? I don't know if Isaac's here right now. No. But Zwomp, here he is. You too, Care Bear. Zwomp, here he is. Katie, Zwomp, here she is. Maxine, Zwomp, here she is. Red Clicker, Zwomp. Talia, Zwomp. Melita, Zwomp. We're no more than a thought away from each other. And I feel with technology, that is only going to become more evident as we continue on. Good morning. You cows make crazy sounds. They do, and they trip me out. Like what? I will bless my water today. I haven't been drinking enough. Thank you for the idea. It's a good habit to start today. Since it's a full moon, I can make moon water. Please do, right? And even if it doesn't do anything, it's just like a mental thing where you're like, this liquid that I get to consume makes up literally 70 and then plus% of me. Clearly, it's an essential part. Love you, water. You're such a sweetie patweetie. Man, I really love her. Like, she really makes me so aware that this experience we call life is such a beautiful one. Lying on my book, completely in the grass, bugs walking all over her face and stuff. No problems. No problems in the universe. Nah, no problems. Ain't got no problems. Your ears itching? There you go. Coexistence, right? That I could give her any experience in the whole universe. And I get to keep showing her love is true. Out of the infinite experiences that you could have in this world, guess what you're gonna believe about it? Right? And you can see that in dogs so beautifully. You can see that in dogs so beautifully. Dogs can become convinced love is true. Pippi is so convinced love is true She loves the cats, and the cats love her. Like that, it brings deep, deep joy to my heart seeing it. I'm still losing weight, managed to comfortably fit into a pair of yoga pants a whole size smaller than usual. And that was a surprise. Blessings. I'm so proud of you, Sam. That's amazing, friend. Keep going. You're doing so well. If you don't have hands, wiggle your toes. If you don't have toes, breathe. If you can't breathe by yourself, notice the experience of being breathed by a ventilator, the oscillation thereof. And technically, your ventilator is just your lungs. That you have an inverted little tree inside of your body that extracts oxygen from the outside environment. And if you stop doing that, you stop doing it. Oh, Sam, that's awesome. You must have given it to me. I tried a pair of work pants today. No dice. I blame that dryer on this one. Yes, I love that. Sam was just like, and Duck Dad gains a pant size. Sam loses a pant size. Teach me. Teach me, Sam. You go, Sam. So much love. Thank you, JV. Seriously, excellent work. If that's your goal, Sam, you're crushing it. Thank you for the loving encouragement. It's always the dryer. Can't tell you how many Pink Floyd shirts I've lost in the dryer, warping them. That sucks. That's awesome, Sam. So much love. It's been a one for a long time, but I knew that when I started this, I didn't want to balloon up and down. I wanted to lose it and lose it for good, which meant a lifestyle change. Yeah. It is a lifestyle thing, right? And it's a weird trip because we become obsessive. We want to be completely that as well, right? Realize that it really is just about numbers. Like you don't have to be perfect. It's impossible to be perfect, and we know that. And yet we try to be that. So by trying to be perfect and knowing it's the impossible, we tell ourselves it's impossible, and then we revert back to the old pattern. And then it's like this ebb and flow that we keep putting ourselves in, right? So realize that if you want to go on a weight loss journey, the amount of time it took you to get to the weight you are right now, be okay with the amount of time it will take you to get back to the weight you want to be, right? And then all you have to do is show up for those days. If you have a week that you're showing up for the version of you that you want to be, and you have 2 days where you're not doing that, you still contributed 5 days out of your 7 day week towards this positive swing, this upwards, towards light, towards your highest self, right? And even if it's only a single day, you're still contributing. You're still pushing yourself up. Even if you can do it only for 10 minutes in a week, you're still. Even if you can only do it for 1 second in your whole week, right? So it's just about realizing that no matter how much effort you get to put in, that effort is never wasted. And even though we might not always be perfect, that it's impossible to be perfect, we can just get back to it. Like I really felt it with the eating tiramisu, I think 2 days ago. I was stripping out about how it made me feel, specifically because there was like a part of me that regained that extreme sense of hunger, right? And it was almost like I forgotten really what that was like. And now getting back into my normal diet, I feel like it will be easier for me to lay the chips of contributing versus subtracting going forward, right? You have 5 chips, and it's a unfortunately, as you said, a lifestyle thing, a self-identity thing, right? I am someone who likes to move. I feel like that is a pretty collective statement, right? All of us like to be able to move. And the goal with moving or exerting effort is so that you can move with more ease for longer, right? So, do I like to move? Yeah. Do I identify as someone who likes to move? Yeah. So, I move. Yeah. I'm seeing that SpongeBob meme pop up in my head. And they're like, why are you sitting on your ass? 1 minute counts. It starts there. It really does start there. And I feel like the biggest thing is again the amount of time it takes, right? The amount of effort we're going to have to exert. And it feels like the longer we wait, the more impossible we believe it is to start again. Right? Again, talking about today's stream topic where it is already so difficult to actually exercise and to be consistent with it. Why would you make it even more difficult to tell yourself it is impossible for me to exercise and stay consistent with it? That sounds like a hard blow against yourself. You are powerful. You are capable of change. You are worthy of your own time and effort. How about that as an affirmation? You are worthy of your own time and effort. Yes, you are. The world will be a better place thanks to you contributing effort to yourself and to your life. Believe that. Maybe we'll talk about that as a stream topic tomorrow. We've talked about it before, but I want to really like reflect on that idea. Believe the things you say and choose to only say the things you believe. Right? And that is it's a tall order. But I feel it could be a cool mental experiment to notice the stories we tell ourselves. Let me see. Do 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 do. Do, do. The lifestyle. Okay. Very few of my clothes go in the dryer. I hang most of my clothes to dry. When it's very wet and raining outside, I use the dryer. Otherwise, I also hang it out to dry. Very few of my clothes. As a lady giant, the dryer is dangerous for my clothes. You guys are my support. I couldn't do it before I came here. Yes, you could, Sam. Right? Don't say impossible. Don't say impossible. It was possible because it's still you. We might be here encouraging you, supporting you, loving you for your progress, for your willingness to show up for that love. But it's still you showing up for it, and we honor that. Okay, I'm just paying attention to the time because we do have a sangha today. Sam, you have given me the courage to start the task that I need to. I'm going to cut back today on how much I hit the vape pen. My lungs need the break. It's just so hard for the mind when it needs calm too. It's true. Maybe just set out a time, right? And I would suggest this, and it's hard, I know, but try and maybe do some yoga, or if yoga is a little bit of a stretch, just sit down and meditate when you do hit your vape pen, right? If you're gonna be like, okay, I need to calm my mind and hit my vape pen, do it, but do it with the condition that you're gonna set a 4 minute and 44 second timer or 11 minutes and 11 seconds. Those are usually my go-to. And then you just sit with that experience, right? You wanted this. You set your intention of like, why am I doing this? I want peace of mind. And then you sit with that. I want peace of mind. I'm doing this for peace of mind. And then you just watch what arises. I'm seeing an arrow, right? Like kind of like flowing upwards. It's beautiful. Thank you for letting me share some of that love with you as well. Duck Dad, you got this, dude. You so got this. Listen to yourself. No one ever wants to eat my homemade nut butter. That does sound highly concerned. Smart subscriptions have really changed my eating habits. Peanuts and pork rinds for potato chips, modified sweet roasted with protein powder and homemade nut butter, protein pancakes. That sounds amazing, Sam. That does actually just sound like a good time, even on top of the fact that it's healthy. They are vape bongs you can buy that will help the smoke cool down a little. If the concern is getting the THC without exposing the young one, capsules may be a good direction for you. Yeah, like edibles do last a little bit longer as well. Yeah, baby, homemade nut butter needs a woman to sell them. It's how it's done. It's true, Sam. That makes very sense, right? If a dude goes like, "You want to buy some of my homemade nut butter?" People are gonna be like, I'm probably gonna pass. But if it's like a lady, just like, I could go for some nut butter. That sounds amazing. Damn it, polarity. Why? Where's the diversity? Where's Wu-Tang Bunny? It's nice seeing you, friend. So much love to you. I don't know if you're still here. We're on the YouTube side again, of course. Mm-hmm. For me, I feel my lung capacity is not great. I need to clean the air sacs. I think I need to try RSO, but I don't feel like the feeling of edibles. It will take experimenting. Maybe eating less of it could help as well. Right? Edibles can be very sensitive to dosages. I floated the idea to a psychologist friend of mine, and she looked horrified. The homemade nut butter to sell it? I'm tripping out a little bit, Sam. The Zap. I mulled over a smartwatch that zaps you when it detects behavior you want to stop. There is such a thing, Sam. There actually already exists such a thing. Uh, she called it barbaric and went on a rant about the Stanford experiment. The Stanford experiment is not true. The Stanford prison experiment is doctored. Go and look it up. Go and look it up. I also was horrified watching the Stanford prison experiment, visualized in a medium that can be watched as like a 12-year-old. And I was like, oh my, is this what humans are capable of? Lies. It's lies. Check it out. Watch. Go and do it. I'm calling out your psychologist. Shooting from the hip, knowing nothing, being hippie on a farm somewhere. Sam, it's fair, but also it sounds awesome. I was totally kidding about talking about my baby batter. Double entree for the win. Love you, dude, so much, always. You know that. Let's see what Sacred Geometry has to say. And then we have Sangha in like 17 minutes. Go time. Yeah, this one. Mm. Mm. I really like this card. I feel like this is the card we needed for the day, especially of the rants I've been on. So many rants. Very much. You want to see? You want to guess first? I'll give us 10 seconds. You can just put the first letter of the color as well. 5, 4, 3, 2. Fire Keepers. We did pull it upside down technically, but I'm going to show it right side up first. We, dear friends, are the Fire Keepers. This I believe. That every single one of you friends are a keeper of fire yourself. The fire of love, the fire of spirit, the fire of awareness, the fire of wisdom, the fire of presence, the fire that is yourself in the world. Right? We're keeping that fire alive. Day by day, burning bright. Fire keepers. We were talking about the triangle. Oh my, I was just tripping out about that. The core is the triangle, right? I was like going into the whole fractal of, yes, duality, yes, unity as the infinity, yes, trinity as the experience that arises when the duality experiences. And then triangle, sacred responsibility, and this one is for you as well, Shan. Service, service, service. Fire is historically the source of protective warmth, light in the darkness, and heat for cooking, and was essential to the survival of the original peoples. Firekeepers hold a sacred responsibility both for the metaphysical survival and the ceremonial spiritual protection of the community. Theirs is an essential and esteemed service. Triangles represent spirit, divinity, life, strength, harmony, and completion. The upward facing triangle is traditionally associated with fire, action, and the masculine. Three fires, warming many hands, invite you to warm to the understanding of these three levels of conscious, personal mastery: physical awareness, mental intention, and spiritual evolution. You are invited to become aware of the effects your actions have on this physical plane. Are you living your bliss through your chosen vocation? Does your job contribute to the welfare of those around you as well as that of your own needs? I went into that trip as well. Secondly, engage your mind and reflect on how the responsibilities you have chosen contribute to the whole of humanity. How might you more effectively engage your intentions to set in motion your vision of the future? All right? Considering, even believing, trusting deeply that no matter how impossible this future you imagine for us collectively seems, don't say that to yourself, because it's already going to be hard enough for us to manifest the future we want. To tell ourselves it's impossible is adding layers of fuckery that we don't need. And then finally, explore your connection to spirit and request to be of greater service to divine will and the evolution of consciousness. This is a card of action. Recognize your sacred responsibility, and it will help bring you into alignment with the purpose of your soul. I butchered that sentence. I'll read it once more. Recognition of your sacred responsibility will help bring you into alignment with the purpose of your soul. That's a little bit better. And the reverse meaning that I pulled technically, right? So I'm feeling this one a little bit, is: has your enthusiasm grown cold of late? Consciously revitalize the fire of your vision. Consciously revitalize the fire of your vision. Consciously revitalize the fire of your vision. It is our birthright, dear friends. We're going to be all right. You are worthy of love. You have great might. Does your job affect those around you? Needs tripping me out. My plant feeds families. If I hit my goal, up to 2,000 families can grow their own food. Dude, that sounds like such a fractal, dude. Right? Like I'm seeing it bloom, right? Like literally people's households, right, in different parts of cities, in different countries, are starting to grow their own food, like a tree sprouting out, like a fractal into the world. And these trees of life, of gardens in their own, yards, for example, literally will generate food, the fruits of our earth, to feed those families locally. Oh yeah, I see them. I'll dance too. Sending you love. Duck that, dude. Keep going, man. Keep going. Keep doing the things you do. Card time. Beautiful. Thank you, friends. Okay, we have like 10 minutes before the Sangha starts. I love you. I hope this stream was what you needed today. I hope it was beautiful. I hope it was worth your time. Thank you. Thank you for choosing to spend some time with me. I'll see you again soon. Goodbye. Love you.